Follow along as we wrap this Lamborghini Huracan in super gloss royalty purple. First, we start by disassembling key components to avoid unnecessary seams. Then we move on to the wrap process. Here we wrap the hood. We're using two of us to help distribute the stretch evenly to avoid adhesive lines and other forms of discoloration. We underroll the liner. This helps to evenly spread the material as we go so we don't have to heat and stretch it out. Minimal stretch means it'll last for longer and it won't pull back in the sun. With smaller panels, you can use the same technique alone. Here, Owen uses the U-shaped squeegee pattern before removing the cap sheet. The cap sheet's left on as long as possible to help avoid scratches, although it does make the material harder to work with, so we remove it in order to get more pliability. Once again, we're working together when it comes to the roof. The material is only 60 inches wide. However, at the bottom of the A-pillars, it's about 67 to 70 inches. Now, we're using an interesting stretch technique in order to do this with one piece. So at the top of the windshield, when the A-pillar starts, we're going to work together to heat and redirect the material. So this is a one-piece seamless roof. It is imperative when doing this not to overstretch the film, as it does have memory triggered by heat. So we're doing it with just the right amount of stretch, and we make sure we shrink all of our edges back at the end. Not only is it important not to overstretch so it doesn't shrink back, but you can also discolor the material as well. Moving on to the rear bumper, it is possible to do by yourself since it's a smaller panel. I just make sure I get enough cross pull so when added with heat, it'll actually shrink on and keep itself on. This is different than stretching to the edge, so there's good stretch and bad stretch. It's important to know the difference. As we make our way through the process, Josh begins reassembly. Just to take the mirror off, there's actually a lot that goes into it. Not only do you have to reroute and connect all of the wires, but in order to access the bolts, the window comes out as well. So here he realigns the door track before reassembling the door card. As we have a big piece like the quarter panel, we do work again together, removing the cap sheet in the beginning so we have maximum pliability. We then heat and stretch the material. This is called glassing. As I pull one way, Owen pulls the opposite way, creating a counter pull. With the proper stretch, it's easier to squeegee the material out. Making the final cut on the bumper before Josh reinstalls the forged carbon wing and the rest of the components on the rear end. Finally, I add taillight tint. This gives it a custom look that flows with the rest of the wrap. When doing taillight tint, we always like to do the reflectors as well. This way all of the lights, both red and orange, are tinted. And here's the final result. Lamborghini Huracan, fully wrapped in super gloss royalty purple. You can see the pink metallic really complements the wrap nicely, along with the gold wheels and the forged carbon spoiler the client had previously added. The super gloss finish with no orange peel is truly unmatched with this wrap.